Howdy folks, hope everybody doing real good. Tamale pie on the menu this evening. We're going to be whooping up an entire meal here. We're going to serve this tamale pie with some refried beans and some Spanish rice. This is a fairly quick and easy meal to put together. Get a lot of servings out of it. Reheats real well for lunches. Now, we're going to start out by browning about 1.5 pounds of 80-20 ground beef. We're going to get some corn in there. It's about a cup. A diced onion, some green chilies, and a can of diced tomatoes. And then we're going to season it up with some garlic powder, a little cumin, a little chili powder. And while that's browning up, we're going to whoop up the top, and you're going to need some plain yellow cornmeal mix and about a cup of milk. We're going to do about a cup of each. And we're not making cornbread. This is like a corn topping. We want it to have a real strong corn flavors. No flour in this, not cornbread. I got a few jalapenos here. I'm just going to roast them off a little bit just to serve on the side. Make it extra good. In the side dishes, I got a pack of this Knorr Spanish rice. Cooks in about 7 to 10 minutes. We're going to bump that up a little bit along with a can of refried beans. We'll bump that up a little bit too. We're going to have a full meal. Let's get to cooking. We're going to get this 1.5 pounds ground beef in the skillet. Get it a cooking. Now we got the pink cooked out of this ground beef. Browned up a little bit. Let's go ahead and get these onions in. Get them onions mixed in there and let them saute a little bit. You want to break this hamburger up fairly fine for this dish. I'm not seeing a ton of fat in here, so I'm not going to drain this hamburger. I do want this to brown up pretty good. Give it a few minutes. Got some sticking going on here, a little fond building up. This is browning pretty good. And those onions cook down pretty good. Take some of that sharpness off of them. Got the meat busted up pretty fine. I'm going to go in with a tablespoon of chili powder. Get some garlic powder in here, about a teaspoon and a half. Some cumin, about a teaspoon and a half, 2 teaspoons of that. Get these seasonings mixed in here and let them kind of fry with this burger a few minutes and bloom out and get extra good. Get us a little salt on, about a teaspoon and a half. Get some black pepper, good bit of black pepper. Alright, those seasonings have been cooking there a few minutes, looking and smelling pretty good. We're going to go in with these green chilies and the tomatoes. It was a 4 or 5 ounce can of chilies and I think a 12 ounce can of diced tomatoes. We're going to let the liquids come out of those 2 products to deglaze the bottom of this skillet. If it don't get the job done, we'll hit it with a little broth. It looks like that got the job done. Smelling real good. I'm going to give it a quick taste here, see if it needs any adjustments on the seasoning. Nope, that's pretty good. I'm going to leave it alone. And I'm going to let this cook here a few minutes until the moisture is in them green chilies. The tomatoes cook out pretty good, and then we'll get that corn in there and get this topping put together. Got a little grease down here. I'm just going to kind of scoop it out. We're going to go in with some corn. Put about a cup of corn in there. This is a canned corn that I drank. We're going to turn the fire back on this. Just let it sit here and get happy a few minutes while we whoop up this topping. We're going to go in with a cup of yellow corn. Yellow corn meal. We're going to get us some salt in there. One cup of milk. I forgot to put these eggs out there in the intro. We got to get us 2 eggs in here. We're going to get some sugar in here. About 2.5, 3 teaspoons of sugar. Get this whooped up. See what we're looking like on consistency. Want it to be about like a pancake batter. It's a little bit thin. I'm going to put some more cornmeal in it. It's looking pretty good. Let's get this put together and in the oven. We want to go in here and smash this together pretty tight and even. Alright, we got our oven coming up to 350. We're going to get this corn mix on here. And there's the oven dinging at us. We just want a nice thin layer of this corn to evenly coat the filling. That looks pretty good to me. Let's get that in the oven. We're going to let that bake between 40 and 50 minutes until that little corn crust topping is nice and brown and a little bit crisp. In the meantime, we're going to get this enchilada sauce reducing. And that's about a 19-ounce can of enchilada sauce. I'm going to let it sit here and bubble and reduce while this tamale pie is baking in the oven. Once it gets reduced, I'll give it a taste, see if it needs any bumping up. Alright, we're out of the oven. It was in there 40-45 minutes. In the corn topping is nice and dried out on top. That's exactly what you want. You can put it under the boiler and, you know, brown it some more on top if you want to. That's the way I like it. I'm going to let this sit here and rest and cool probably 15 to 30 minutes because it is piping hot. About 10 minutes before I get ready to plate this up, we'll get the rice and refried beans put together. See y'all back shortly. Enchilada sauce is thickened up real nice. It's going to be a real good little drizzle for that tamale pie. I'm going to give this a taste. I'm going to put just a little bit of oregano in here. And some chipotle chili powder. Smoke this up a little bit, add a little heat. We'll turn the fire off on that and get it set off to the side. I'm going to get these jalapenos roasted. Get a little olive oil in this skillet. Leave them in there. I just want them to roast up and blistered real nice. We're going to salt them a little bit. Serve them with this tamale pie on the side. Be extra good. And while those jalapenos are sizzling, we're going to get this rice going. We're going to go in with 2 cups of unsalted chicken broth. Let that come up to a good little boil. Refried beans. We're going to get them out the can and in this little saucepan. We'll get us a little unsalted chicken broth in here just to thin them out a little bit. Sprinkle a little bit of chicken bouillon in there. Now we'll just let them sit there and cook a few minutes till they ripe. Got the chicken broth kicking pretty good. We're going to go in with this pack of Spanish rice. Get it whooped around there pretty good. We'll get us about a tablespoon of olive oil in. We'll get it with a little tapatio. Let it cook in there with that rice. Spice it up a little bit. Put a lid on, turn the fire back. We're going to let that slowly simmer about 10 minutes. Rice looking pretty good. A little chive, Mexican cheese, that's pretty good. Sure live. Beans are good. Out of the canned beans. Instant rice good. I tell you what, that little bit of sugar we put in that corn crust sure didn't make that right. That filling is delicious. The sauce is really good. It's good. Regular folks approve. That's it. That's a tamale pie dinner with refried beans, some rice, a little sauteed jalapeno, reduced enchilada sauce for a glaze. Pretty darn good. Till next time. Peace.